That's not what I want my kid to think, is that it's okay to give up, because then I am left burying my child. I do not want to see that happen.
But now at 5, a Greenwood mother says her daughter has endured relentless bullying at school. Now she's taking action against the school district.
You know, I can never repay those people.
After spending months looking for a kidney donor, Butler Blues handler has found one. His message for all of us.
There are just 10 days left to donate to the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. I'm Nicole Griffin tonight, working for you in Danville with a call to action.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
5 years of that, obviously it just escalates from one point to completely out of control.
A Greenwood mother says school bullies told her 13-year-old daughter to kill herself. And now that mom is in a fight to save her daughter's life. She's filed a complaint against the school district and sat down with Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny. And a warning tonight. Some of what you're about to see could be disturbing.
A Greenwood family filed this 11-page complaint with the Indiana Department of Education on December 2nd. They say the Clark Pleasant Community School Corporation broke the law. Chloe Riggs is a 13-year-old student at Clark Pleasant Middle School in Johnson County. According to the complaint, she suffers from anxiety, depression, and panic attacks due to 5 years of bullying.
I went to the parents myself going, oh, can you please make your kid stop?
But they didn't stop. Records show students have called her fat, stupid, told her to kill herself, jump in front of a car and die. Chloe has been hospitalized several times for cutting herself and suicidal thoughts. According to the complaint, in the fall, 2 girls told Chloe to go slit your wrists and finish the job you started.
It's awful. It's absolutely horrible. To see her come home and cry every day, and there's nothing you can do, what would you do? But then it gets to the point where they start trying to kill themselves, or they have nothing left to live for. I mean, to hear your kid say that is awful. It's completely shocking that nobody actually cares.
The family's attorney, Tom Blessing, says the district violated the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act.
The school has failed to find Chloe eligible for special education when all the evidence has been staring him in the face for 5 years.
Blessing says the school has an obligation under federal law to locate and evaluate any child suspected of having a disability.
Clearly, Chloe is such a student. Well, it has never done that. And so the first thing it should have done was had a school psychologist test her to find out what's going on.
We reached out to the district, who told us they can't comment on specific students, but in general, the safety and well-being of all of our students is of utmost importance in the Clark Pleasant Community Schools. Our caring staff continues to work collaboratively with families to ensure a safe learning environment in all of our schools. Chloe is failing her classes, and her mom says several family members have died by suicide, and she doesn't want her daughter to be next. Chloe and her family are asking the Indiana Department of Education to appoint an independent hearing officer to hear their case. Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Well, if you or someone you know is going through a similar situation, you can look up this story on the RTV6 app or the IndyChannel.com. We've compiled a list of resources that can help. A big development tonight. After months of searching, the handler for Butler's mascot, Blue 3, Michael Kaltenmark, has found a kidney donor. Kaltenmark has been sharing his journey ever since he was diagnosed with kidney failure back in April. Megan Sanctorum spoke with him today about the challenges of finding a match and found out there's a long list of people in the same situation as he.
You may recognize him as the man with Butler's living mascot. But Michael Kaltenmark is also the school's director of external affairs, a husband, and father of 2 young boys. Earlier this year, he got news that would change his life forever.
Be told initially, like, hey, you need a kidney transplant, or if you didn't, 4 or 5 years from now, you'll probably be dead. Like, that's sobering.
And right now, there are more than 1,000 people in Indiana on the waiting list for a kidney transplant.
So even if we didn't put anybody else on the list, it would take us 3 or 4 years just to catch up with the people that are on the list right now.
They began testing family members right away, but doctors told him to keep looking for donors in case they weren't a match. That's when Carlton Mark turned to social media. The response was overwhelming.
Yeah, I totally underestimated the amount of people that would be willing to come to my aid.
After Michael shared his story, representatives with IU Health say they saw a major increase in the number of people interested in becoming donors.
I think it speaks to how great our church family is, and the Butler community and the Indianapolis community, and I think it also speaks to how much people love Butler Blue, right? He wants to use his platform to educate others and spread the word about kidney donation. There's a lot of other people who are in my shoes who don't have maybe the network of support that I do, who are just left to the list, and their time may run out before the list provides a donor for them. Just this week, they found out his brother was a match, and the surgery has been scheduled for next month. He says he hopes that by sharing his story, he can encourage others to donate. Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
A kidney is the most needed organ in the U.S. and in Indiana as well. And according to the Oregon Procurement and Transplantation Network, there are more than 1,300 people in Indiana waiting for some type of organ. Of those, 1,088 are waiting for a kidney, 86 for a heart, and 84 for a liver. Those are the top 3. You can sign up to be an organ donor when you renew your driver's license. You can also go to unos.org and sign up. Now, UNOS stands for United Network for Organ Sharing. A very personal health revelation today by Greenwood Mayor Mark Myers. He released a statement saying he was diagnosed last month with Parkinson's disease. He said it was discovered early, which provides a greater opportunity to manage the symptoms. Myers says that he was an excellent team of doctors available to him and has also started kickboxing sessions. He said, quote, "First and foremost, I look forward to continuing serving my fellow citizens as mayor of Greenwood. We will continue our important work as there is so much more to accomplish." He also said, "I feel strong, fit, and more passionate than ever about leading Greenwood's resurgence." Now, a call to action for everyone across central Indiana looking to give back this holiday season. The Salvation Army is in need of your help. The charity is way behind when it comes to donations. And just last night, as we first reported, someone stole a red kettle from Plainfield that was full of money. RTV6's Nicole Griffin explains how much money Salvation Army still needs to meet its goal.
The theft of the red kettle in Plainfield comes at a bad time for the Salvation Army. That is because right now donations are down significantly. The money stolen would have gone to help local families.
Thank you a bunch. Merry Christmas.
It's a tradition every year for Richard Nevitt to volunteer his time to the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. He spends hours outside of the Walmart in Danville.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Greeting every customer as they walk in.
Maybe they'll stop to get cash back at the register and hit me on the way out. I hope they get a good feeling when they donate, like I get a good feeling in ringing the bell.
So far this year, the Salvation Army of Central Indiana has collected $154,000 from the Red Kettle campaign. It's only 30% of their $800,000 kettle goal. Lieutenant Joshua Hubbard of Salvation Army's Eagle Creek location says knowing a thief stole a kettle full of money that would have provided assistance for local families is devastating.
It was truly a low day for us that someone would take that red kettle, not just the kettle, but the whole stand was missing. So $300 in equipment, and there's no knowing how much money was in that kettle. It could have been anywhere from $200 to $400. So $700 that would have went directly to our programming, to the people that we help, to the families that we know. It's detrimental to us.
Lieutenant Hubbard says this year we have less days between Black Friday and Christmas, which is contributing to lower donation numbers. He's encouraging everyone to consider donating and volunteering their time this holiday season. Working for you in Danville, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
We checked in with Plainfield Police, and they are still investigating the red kettle theft at JCPenney. They don't have any surveillance images yet and likely won't have another update until Monday. Well, do you recognize this person? The FBI is hoping you know who he is. They say he robbed the PNC Bank in the Nora area just before noon today. That bank is located at 1224 East 86th Street, by the way. Investigators say the man passed a note suggesting he had a gun. If you know who he is, call the FBI Indianapolis. The number on your screen is 317-595-4000. Vice President Mike Pence is back home in the Hoosier State right now. He arrived at Indianapolis International Airport aboard Air Force Two at about 3:30. He's here to participate in a roundtable for Governor Holcomb. We have not been told the location, and it is not open to the media. Pence will return to Washington, D.C. tomorrow. The visit comes on the same day as an historic vote on Capitol Hill. Today, the House Judiciary Committee approved 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump. Committee members voted against strict party lines, with Republicans furious. But President Trump says he's not worried. ABC's Inez de la Cuetara reports.
It was a speedy conclusion to a marathon impeachment hearing.
Aye.
Mr. Jeffries?
Aye.
The House Judiciary Committee voting along strict party lines, 23-17, on 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The committee's Democratic majority arguing President Trump must be removed from office to protect the integrity of future elections.
He betrayed the nation. He moved us toward corrupt elections, and he abused his power.
But Republicans are slamming the move.
I have never in my entire life seen such an unfair, rigged railroad job against the President of the United States.
The vote makes Trump just the 4th president in U.S. history to face impeachment by the House.
I got to see enough of it, and certainly I spoke to my people. It's a witch hunt, it's a sham, it's a hoax.
Trump now looking ahead to an all but certain Senate impeachment trial. Some advising him to stick to a shorter process so he can focus on other issues like his re-election campaign. But the president says he hasn't made up his mind yet.
We did nothing wrong, so I'll do long or short. I've heard Mitch, I've heard Lindsey. I wouldn't mind a long process, because I'd like to see the whistleblower who's a fraud.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell saying he is working in total coordination with the White House and telling Fox News.
There's a 0 chance the president obviously would be removed from office, and I'm hoping we'll have no defections at all.
And Senate Democratic Leader Chuck Schumer responding that if there is a trial, every single senator will take an oath to render impartial justice. The House's Democratic majority is expected to pass impeachment next Wednesday. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he'll take up the trial in the new year. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News on Capitol Hill.
Still ahead at 5:30 on RTV6, an unwelcome surprise for a local man who thought his warranty would cover his car repairs, why he's facing a big bill, and the steps you can take to help win a claim. The Colts are facing a tough task in trying to get into the playoffs, but could Monday night's game be a big step in the right direction? We'll get a look at today's practice.
And snow potential increases later in the weekend, may mix with some freezing rain as well. We'll talk about kind of a complicated forecast when we come back.
Total savings. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
We're getting ready for the Colts and Saints Monday night on RTV6. Year after year, New Orleans is one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. So how are the Colts getting ready? Brad Brown joins us now with a look at today's workout.
And good afternoon, everyone. An extra day of working and waiting for the Colts this week. Probably a solid 50-50 if you ask the locker room what each guy prefers, more practice or that extra day to wait to play. Either way, it is a no-doubt must-win for the Colts on Monday night, and the Superdome is not the kind of place where many teams go and come away with wins in December. Let's get a look at the Colts Friday practice, ramping things up just a bit from what was a walkthrough on Thursday. Now, tomorrow will be the most full day of practice. Everything gets shuffled back on the schedule with this Monday night assignment. The story will continue to be the same as the last few weeks for the Colts. Limit mistakes and find some kind of new wrinkle to make the game plan move forward. But the Saints are playing for a division title and home field in the playoffs. Colts coach Frank Reich knows it's a tall task ahead of his team.
I feel like we've been locked in practices. It's been good. I mean, I do feel a frustration. You know, I think we all have a frustration level, which is normal and good. So I think, you know, I think after the start we had, what happens is sometimes expectations can get a little bit out of control, and that's the danger of it.
The wild card is going to be a long shot for the Colts. Indy will need to win the final 3 games they have to play, but they will also need the Bills and Steelers to lose their last 3, and also a couple losses for Tennessee. So it's not a done deal yet, but the Colts' recent struggles have it looking quite unlikely. By the way, the Colts are 9-point underdogs for Monday night. The Chiefs game was the only other one that was more of a spread, but the Colts came away with a win in Kansas City, so we shall see. We'll hear from Colts center Ryan Kelly coming up tonight at 6. Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
Hey, Brad, thank you. So the Colts and Saints on Monday Night Football right here on RTV6. Our countdown to kickoff show begins at 7:30. Sports director Dave First, Brad Brown, and former Colt Ryan Deem will discuss the big matchup. The Colts and Saints will kick off at 8:15. It's all Monday night right here on RTV6. Now, let's get your Storm Team 6 forecast. And we really enjoyed a mild day outside when it came to the temperatures.
We get around 40, we celebrate, right?
Yeah,
We've got some big changes on the way. Let's talk about another game for a second. It's the Fuel game tomorrow night. Special time. It's at 6:05. And when the Fuel score their first goal, this will happen. That is fun. It's part of the teddy bear toss for the 6 Shines On toy drive. And it's teamwork at its best. Because often from your seats, you can't make it all the way onto the ice.
Right.
So then it gets relayed and eventually lands on the ice.
And you'll get to see Amanda skate there. Look at that.
There she is. She has been, I think it was a 9.6 last year was her score.
9.6, yeah.
So it's going to be tough to beat, but she maintains excellence. All right, why is the forecast a little tricky for Sunday night and Monday? This is why. The potential that we mix in freezing rain with snow, maybe even some rain down to the south. When you're trying to take the moisture, the amount of moisture, and convert it to just snow, then that's easier to do. But you take some of it out of the mix then and mix in freezing rain, it becomes more difficult. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you 2 models. 4 o'clock Sunday, the gray of cloud cover in central Indiana. Snow beginning in the evening after sunset becomes more widespread by 11 o'clock at night. That little thin band here of pink represents some freezing rain, but you see southern half of the state, either some freezing rain or rain mixing in. Then as we get to 7 a.m., kind of winding down. Now another model that I show you brings the snow across central Indiana through 11 o'clock. Then as we get to the overnight, it starts to push the freezing rain line more to the north. That would cut down on snow totals, but increase slick conditions, obviously, with freezing rain. And that's why I put in big letters, potential. We'll wait and see how much of the moisture is converted to all snow. Tonight, just some rain showers, really in the southeastern half of the state. I-65, I-74, main impact south and east of Indianapolis, but we'll have some light showers elsewhere. Wouldn't be surprised if you see a melting snowflake in there as we go through the overnight and into the morning hours. This is why Mark said it felt better today, because it was warmer. 44 in Bloomington. We're at 42 right now. We'll take that. Say hello to Wyatt. We've got his undivided attention. Ears are up, and he's staring right
at the camera.
And he's ready to go. If you're going out for a walk this evening, temperatures only slowly cool back down. You can send your dog's picture to me at kevin.gregory@wrtv.com, and I'll be happy to take them for a walk. There are your showers, 11 o'clock through the overnight. Again, a couple of flurries may mix in. This pulls away. Then rest of Saturday, most of Sunday dry. The biggest difference between the 2 days will be a temperature drop of about 10 degrees for the afternoon high for the second half of the weekend. Some sunshine tomorrow. Clouds eventually win out. Temperatures in the low 40s. There are the temperatures in the 30s for Sunday. Here's your 7-day planner. As we mentioned, it's all about Sunday night and Monday and the impact potentially on your Monday morning drive as we have snow, some accumulation, and freezing rain potential as well. This is the time of year that you want your Storm Shield app ready. And of course, we're here all weekend. Kyle will continue to provide updates as we move closer to the event.
Might as well just go download it right now on your phone. Just do it. Still ahead here at 5. 2 big holiday attractions in central Indiana have reason to celebrate tonight. The honors we learned about just today.
Drive at Honda of Fishers. Hello to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV, and we're in day number 5 of testimony in the state of Michigan versus defendant Stephen Washington. Today, the state's star witness, Ivan Keener, took the stand. Now, he's the one who allegedly started the fight that led to Esai Baroni's death. Baroni's was shot and killed back in October of 2018 outside of an East Lansing apartment complex after he stepped into a fight between 4 girls. Prosecutors say that Washington shot Baroni's, but Washington's defense team says that he was unarmed at the time of the shooting and is being framed by some of the people involved in the melee. If convicted, Washington faces life in prison. As always, you can count on Court TV for live gavel-to-gavel coverage. I'm Julie Grant. Now back to you in the studio.
Well, those colored lights that you see there in the distance from our Salesforce camera are the lights at the zoo. Look at that. And tonight the zoo is celebrating that once again Christmas at the zoo is ranked among the nation's best. Christmas at the zoo was voted 6th for USA Today's 10 best zoo lights in the nation. This is the zoo's 4th top 10 finish in the past 5 years. And by the way, Christmas at the zoo continues through December 30th. Worth checking it out. And congratulations to the Carmel Christkindl Market. It's been named the best holiday market in North America in a poll by USA Today's 10 best travel media group. The Christkindl Market is in its 3rd year. Last year, it drew in more than 325,000 visitors. And this year, the vendor huts were added. The market runs through Christmas Eve and will be closed on Monday and Tuesday of next week. Indiana has one of the worst infant mortality rates in the United States, and some of those babies who die go unclaimed. All new at 6, we show you how one group is making sure those children are never forgotten.
This could impact thousands. The engine stopped running, but why did the warranty not kick in? I'm Rafael Sanchez. That story next on RTV6.